Something extraordinary is quietly unfolding in the lives of a few. Hidden forces, subtle signs, and moments of uncanny clarity are guiding certain souls toward truths that most will never see. These are not ordinary experiences. They are whispers from a higher reality, nudges meant to awaken a deeper awareness within you. Today, I will take you on a journey into the path of the chosen, those who are spiritually primed for insights that transcend everyday understanding. Being chosen is rarely glamorous. It is not a title or a badge of honor. It carries responsibility, a calling to align with a purpose far greater than personal ambition. You will learn how divine guidance often appears not as loud proclamations, but as quiet tests, mysterious coincidences, and moments that demand courage and attention. These are the subtle signals that, if recognized and embraced, can transform your perception of life and the way you move through it. In this video, we will uncover the hidden patterns that connect these experiences to ancient Shaolin wisdom. You will discover how inner discipline, mindful observation, and the integration of shadow and light can unlock clarity that others struggle to find. We will explore stories and lessons rarely spoken aloud, truths that remain concealed to those unprepared to see them. By the end, you will understand why some moments in life are orchestrated for awakening, why challenges can carry divine purpose, and how aligning with these forces can ignite mastery within your mind, body, and spirit. Welcome to Shaolin Soulfire, where ancient wisdom meets personal transformation. If the call resonates, join us on this journey. Subscribe now and step into the path that few have the courage to walk. There comes a moment when the mind can no longer hide behind familiar comforts, when the illusions we carry about ourselves, about others, about the world begin to press against the edges of awareness. We face a choice to turn away or to look with unwavering clarity. True courage is not found in action alone, but in the quiet confrontation with what we have long refused to see. In the Shaolin tradition, mastery begins not with skill or strength, but with vision, the ability to perceive reality exactly as it is. A warrior may strike with precision, yet without clarity, every movement is clouded by misconception. The same principle applies to life. To act wisely, we must first pierce the veils of illusion, shadows of pride, fear, and denial, obscure the mind, and only those willing to face them directly can awaken to deeper understanding. Mindfulness becomes the lantern in this process. It is not a rush toward insight, but a patient observation of each thought, each sensation, each moment as it arises. Through this practice, patterns emerge, subtle repetitions of thought and behavior that once went unnoticed. Hidden motivations, unconscious fears, and self-limiting beliefs reveal themselves quietly, like shadows receding at dawn. The path is neither comfortable nor easy. There will be moments of resistance, when the mind recoils and whispers that it is safer to remain in illusion. Yet every hesitation is a mirror, reflecting the very attachments that hold the spirit in bondage. By staying present, observing without judgment, and embracing what is revealed, the chosen begins to untangle the knots that bind perception. Illusions may be seductive, but the clarity that comes from courage is liberating. It is the first step toward mastery, not over the world, but over the self. And in that mastery, every decision, every action begins to resonate with truth. There is a quiet force that speaks only in silence. In the midst of life's clamor, when the mind races with endless thoughts and the heart trembles with restless desire, stillness becomes the path to clarity. It is not emptiness, but a concentrated presence, a space where the whispers of truth can finally be heard. Within that calm, guidance emerges, subtle yet unmistakable, pointing toward decisions and actions aligned with a higher order. Shaolin monks have long understood that true strength is not loud or outwardly visible. Through meditation, breath control, and disciplined movement, they cultivate an inner sanctuary, a place where the mind rests yet remains awake. Each breath is measured, each posture intentional, each thought observed without attachment. In this space, intuition sharpens. The soul learns to distinguish the fleeting from the eternal, the trivial from the essential. Stillness is a form of courage. It is easier to act impulsively, to follow the noise of emotion or the pressure of circumstance. Yet to remain present, to surrender the habit of constant reaction, requires patience and trust. It is a discipline of the unseen, where power is gathered not through force, but through alignment with the rhythms of life. Ancient wisdom teaches that the river does not resist the rocks it encounters. It flows around them with calm persistence. Similarly, the mind trained in stillness navigates life's challenges with composure, clarity, and precision. The strength it reveals is subtle yet unmistakable, like a blade forged in silence, sharp enough to cut through confusion, yet balanced enough to honor the flow of reality. In learning stillness, one discovers that the greatest mastery begins within. Power is not taken, it is realized. Each quiet moment becomes a teacher, each breath a guide, and the inner world unfolds as a map to truths that cannot be heard over the noise of haste or distraction. Discipline is often misunderstood as restriction, yet in truth, it is the bridge between knowing and living. Awareness alone is like a seed without water. Its potential remains unrealized. Discipline nourishes that seed, shaping insight into habit, and habit into mastery. It is the quiet architecture that supports transformation, guiding every thought, every movement, every choice toward coherence and purpose. In the Shaolin tradition, mastery is built through repetition. Hours of physical practice, forms, and precise movements train the body to respond without hesitation. Simultaneously, mental exercises, meditation, focused attention, and reflection strengthen resilience and sharpen clarity. Each repetition is not merely practice, but a lesson in patience, a reinforcement of intention, a step toward aligning mind, body, and spirit. Over time, these patterns of discipline create a rhythm that transforms ordinary actions into deliberate, powerful expressions of mastery. Discipline is inseparable from mindfulness. Without presence, effort can become mechanical or hollow. Mindfulness anchors the mind in the now, revealing when the body moves from habit alone and when it moves with conscious alignment. It is the silent partner of discipline, ensuring that every action, no matter how small, carries awareness and intention. Ancient wisdom teaches that mastery is not sudden. It is earned through consistent effort, sustained focus, and ethical integrity. The path of discipline may seem demanding, but each act of self-control cultivates freedom, the freedom to act without being ruled by impulse, fear, or distraction. Through discipline, insight becomes visible in life, and inner wisdom finds its reflection in the outer world. The bridge between thought and action is not crossed by knowledge alone. It is discipline that carries us steadily from understanding to embodiment, from vision to reality, transforming ordinary moments into steps of awakening and self-mastery. Within every person lies a part rarely seen, a quiet presence that lingers in the corners of thought and feeling. This is the shadow self, hidden fears, unspoken desires, and habits that operate beneath the surface. Often, it is easier to ignore these shadows, to push them away or disguise them. Yet, in doing so, their power grows, shaping decisions and actions in subtle, unseen ways. Shaolin philosophy teaches that true mastery does not come from denying the shadow, but from facing it. The warrior learns to confront fear, to observe desire without being controlled, and to recognize patterns that once dictated behavior unconsciously. This is not a journey of judgment but of understanding. Each shadow carries a lesson, a message about the parts of self that require attention, refinement, and courage. Mindful reflection becomes the lantern in this process. By observing thoughts, impulses, and reactions without attachment, the mind uncovers the repetitive cycles that hold one back. A hidden anger reveals where boundaries were ignored. A persistent fear points to unhealed wounds. A recurring desire shows what the soul seeks in balance and alignment. These patterns are not weaknesses to hide. They are raw material for transformation. The path of integrating the shadow is gradual. It demands honesty, patience, and humility. Yet as each layer is acknowledged, what once seemed limiting transforms into strength. Fear becomes discernment, desire becomes motivation aligned with purpose, and habit becomes conscious action. Ancient wisdom teaches that light is only meaningful because of darkness. By embracing the shadow, the chosen learns to navigate life with deeper clarity, resilience, and presence. Inner mastery emerges not from perfection, but from the courage to look fully at oneself, to understand, and to transform. In this alchemy, what was hidden becomes a source of conscious power, guiding every thought and action toward balance and awakening. Wisdom is not truly known until it lives in the body, until it shapes the way one moves, breathes, and responds to the world. Words and ideas can illuminate the mind, yet without embodiment, they remain distant, abstract, like a map never walked. The essence of mastery lies not in what is understood, but in what is lived, how knowledge flows seamlessly into action, presence, and being. In Shaolin training, the mind and body are inseparable. Every movement, every posture, every form carries intention. Hands, feet, and breath are guided by awareness, and through repetition, this awareness becomes instinctive. The body learns to respond with precision. The mind remains centered, and the spirit attains balance. Each motion is a dialogue between internal insight and external expression, a reflection of the harmony between thought, emotion, and action. Embodied wisdom reveals itself in subtle ways. It is the calm in the midst of chaos, the clarity in a moment of uncertainty, the integrity that requires no explanation. It is not performed for others, but arises naturally from discipline, reflection, and alignment with higher principles. A life grounded in this practice transforms ordinary moments into opportunities for insight and mastery, as every gesture becomes an expression of inner understanding. Ancient masters teach that true learning is a river flowing through the mind, body, and spirit. Knowledge that stops at thought stagnates. Knowledge that moves through the body awakens presence. Integrity is measured not by words, but by consistency in action. Focus is not declared, but evident in attention and care. Calm is not sought, but emerges when the mind, body, and heart are aligned. To embody wisdom is to live it, moment by moment, breath by breath. It is a quiet mastery that does not announce itself, yet its influence shapes everything it touches. In this integration, life becomes a living practice, and each day an opportunity to express insight in the most natural and powerful way. In a world that moves with relentless pace and unpredictable currents, the mind can easily be swayed by impulse, fear, or desire. Without a steady anchor, decisions become reactive and clarity dissolves into chaos. Ethical grounding is that anchor, a compass that guides action when circumstances feel uncertain and the heart wavers between right and convenient. It is not an external rule, but an internal rhythm, a principle that holds the self steady amidst turmoil. Shaolin philosophy has long emphasized that moral clarity is inseparable from spiritual growth. Strength without ethics leads to imbalance. Knowledge without compassion is hollow. A disciplined life requires more than technique or intellect. It demands a foundation of integrity, honesty, and thoughtful consideration of how each action affects others. This ethical framework allows the mind to move with purpose even when the world tests patience and resilience. Mindfulness deepens this practice. By observing impulses before acting, by pausing to sense the alignment of choice with inner values, one learns to respond with precision rather than reaction. Moments of frustration, fear, or anger become opportunities to exercise discernment. Every decision is measured not only by its immediate effect, but by its harmony with principles cultivated through reflection and self-awareness. Ancient wisdom teaches that chaos does not need to control the spirit. The grounded mind, anchored in ethical intention, remains flexible yet unwavering, like a tree bending with the wind without breaking. Compassionate action flows naturally from this place, creating ripples of balance in both personal life and the broader world. Ethical anchoring is subtle yet profound. It transforms challenge into lesson, conflict into clarity, and choice into mastery. When the mind is rooted in moral awareness, every step carries purpose, and the self navigates turbulence with calm, confidence, and integrity, turning external chaos into an arena for inner mastery and growth. True freedom begins when the heart releases the need to cling, yet remains fully present. Detachment is often misunderstood as cold indifference, a withdrawal from life's beauty and struggle. In reality, it is the subtle art of engaging without being bound, of acting with full intention while maintaining inner equilibrium. It is the quiet strength that allows the mind to see clearly, unclouded by fear, desire, or expectation. Shaolin teachings describe detachment not as separation but as clarity in action. A monk may move through the world with compassion, discipline, and focus, yet his mind is free from compulsive attachment to outcomes or possessions. This freedom does not diminish involvement, rather it deepens engagement. Actions are chosen, deliberate and precise, flowing from understanding rather than impulse. Life is experienced fully, yet the spirit is unshaken by its turbulence. Mindfulness supports this balance. By observing thoughts, emotions, and attachments without judgment, one learns to recognize which impulses demand attention and which can pass without disturbance. Desire is acknowledged, but not enslaving. Fear is felt, but does not dictate choice. Through this practice, detachment becomes a lens that reveals the underlying currents of life, allowing action that is wise, centered, and compassionate. Ancient wisdom teaches that a river flows freely because it does not cling to obstacles. It moves with awareness, adjusting to each twist and turn. Similarly, detachment allows the chosen to navigate challenges without losing harmony, to act decisively while preserving inner clarity. Strength is measured not by control over the world, but by mastery over attachment. In learning detachment without disconnection, the spirit attains resilience. Life is embraced in its fullness, yet the mind remains anchored. Decisions are guided by insight, not reaction, and presence becomes a quiet power that shapes both thought and action with balance, integrity, and enduring calm. There is a rhythm to life that cannot be hurried. Moments of clarity, insight, and revelation often arrive quietly, unfolding gradually like the bloom of a rare flower. Impatience clouds perception, and the mind that demands immediate understanding often misses the deeper currents at work. True wisdom, ancient teachings remind us, requires the courage to wait, to trust in timing beyond our control. Shaolin tradition teaches that mastery is never instantaneous. Every lesson, every skill, every insight grows through repetition, careful observation, and reflective practice. A monk does not achieve balance or clarity in a single session. Each day's effort builds upon the last layer by layer, until understanding is embodied. Similarly, the truths of life and spirit are revealed incrementally. Each experience, each challenge, carries a fragment of guidance, sometimes subtle, sometimes disguised as difficulty, that slowly coalesces into profound insight. Patience is not passive. It is an active discipline of presence. Mindfulness deepens the ability to wait without tension, to observe unfolding events with curiosity rather than resistance. It allows the mind to witness patterns, to discern the lessons hidden within delays, obstacles, and quiet intervals. Trust in timing is cultivated by noticing the rhythm of cause and effect, of effort and reward, of action and reflection. Ancient wisdom likens this process to sharpening a blade. Each stroke seems small, almost imperceptible, yet over time it becomes honed to precision. So too does insight, gradual, cumulative, and refined through steady attention and care. Patience then becomes a form of strength. It is a recognition that divine guidance is not always immediate, yet it is always present. Those who cultivate patience learn to move with life rather than against it, to embrace the unfolding of truth without fear, and to allow understanding to emerge in its perfect time, fully and enduringly. The measure of mastery is not found in skill, knowledge, or even inner calm alone. True self-mastery is revealed through action, through the way one touches the lives of others with wisdom and compassion. The highest expression of power is service, offered freely, without expectation, yet guided by discernment and integrity. It is in giving, in supporting, and in uplifting that the lessons of discipline and awareness find their fullest form. Shaolin masters have long taught that spiritual strength is not for self-glorification. Power becomes meaningful only when it serves a higher purpose, when it benefits the greater whole. Every movement, every act of attention, every decision is an opportunity to channel insight into tangible benefit for others. In this way, the master's presence radiates quietly, shaping outcomes not through force, but through influence, grounded in clarity and ethical alignment. Service is an extension of mindfulness and discipline. To serve wisely requires observing needs without attachment, acting without ego, and remaining present in the moment while holding awareness of the larger impact. It transforms ordinary acts into deliberate expressions of consciousness, where guidance and support emerge naturally from understanding, patience, and calm. The chosen, who cultivate mastery of self, become conduits of truth. Their actions carry subtle lessons: integrity in speech, clarity in thought, balance in behavior. Others may not always notice the subtlety, yet the influence ripples outward, shaping minds and hearts, inspiring awareness and alignment. Ancient teachings remind us that the river does not boast of its flow, yet it nourishes all along its path. So too does the life of service, quiet, consistent, and profoundly transformative. In serving others, mastery becomes complete, and the truths of wisdom move beyond the self, touching the world in ways that endure, creating harmony, balance, and lasting impact. The deepest truths often arrive quietly, hidden within life's ordinary moments, waiting for the mind ready to perceive them. God risks nothing in guiding those prepared for awakening. The true challenge lies not in the universe, but in our own resistance. Fear, doubt, and hesitation obscure the path, making clarity seem distant. Yet the guidance is always present, patiently waiting for recognition, for the readiness to integrate insight into action. Mastery is not a collection of isolated virtues, but the seamless merging of awareness, discipline, and ethical action into daily life. Each principle alone, wisdom, stillness, courage, service, holds value, yet their power is fully realized only when lived together. The monk who trains the body, refines the mind, and cultivates the heart experiences life as a continuous expression of alignment. Insight guides choice. Discipline ensures consistency, courage fuels action, and service manifests the higher purpose. Integration requires presence. Stillness reveals patterns, courage confronts shadows, and ethical grounding shapes decisions. These are not abstract ideals to admire from a distance. They are practical keys to moving in harmony with the underlying order of existence. When fully embodied, they transform challenges into lessons, distractions into focus, and resistance into flow. The world may press, tempt, or distract, yet the mind anchored in integration moves through each circumstance with clarity and composure. Ancient Shaolin wisdom teaches that true mastery is measured not in avoidance or escape, but in engagement. To confront life with awareness, to act decisively without attachment, and to serve with discernment is to embody divine alignment. The path is demanding, yet every step toward integration dissolves illusion, strengthens presence, and reveals the simplicity at the heart of truth, that life is not a series of obstacles to evade, but a living practice through which awakening naturally unfolds. The journey of the chosen is not easy, yet it is deeply rewarding. Courage opens the door, discipline builds the path, awareness lights the way, and service gives every step meaning. Shaolin teachings, mindfulness, and personal mastery offer guidance, showing how to live with clarity, integrity, and purpose. By facing illusions, embracing stillness, and embodying wisdom, the chosen align their life with higher truth. Each choice, each breath, each action becomes an opportunity to reflect the principles of mastery in the world. God's guidance is quiet, yet profound, waiting for those ready to notice, to listen, and to act. Take these lessons into your daily life. Pause to observe, act with intention, serve with compassion, and move through challenges with patience. In these small, consistent steps, transformation unfolds naturally, revealing the depth of your own potential. Let this be a gentle reminder. Mastery is not about perfection, but presence. It is in living with awareness, integrity, and care that the path of the chosen reveals itself fully. If this message resonates, join our community at Shaolin Soulfire. Like, subscribe, and continue walking the path of inner strength, clarity, and awakening. Peace and presence be with you always.